Thanks for joining me for this preview of DB PowerStudio for Sybase ASE, an intuitive and highly visual tool that helps DBAs and developers boost performance across all versions of Sybase ASE. DB PowerStudio is designed with Sybase ASE database professionals in mind. As a complement to Sybase Central, DB PowerStudio for Sybase, with its point-and-click workflows, helps you build and maintain mission-critical database applications, quickly pinpoint and fix bottlenecks, and streamline the database change management process. When we talk about database administration and database development, we're not only referring to the daily task of database administration, such as object creation and extraction, security management and data management, we're also covering the more advanced topics such as performance management, storage management, and capacity management. And for the database developer, we're covering features such as a rich SQL development environment, complete with code assistance, SQL debuggers for troubleshooting your code, as well as SQL profilers for high-level performance metrics. The second tenet of DB PowerStudio is performance tuning and SQL optimization. In today's world, who can't afford to have their database running at peak performance? And with DB PowerStudio for Sybase, we provide you the tools to do just that. With features such as real-time database profiling, SQL optimization, visual SQL tuning, SQL stress simulation, and execution statistics, you'll ensure that your database is performing at its best. And rounding out DB PowerStudio for Sybase is database change management, using intuitive workflows to follow changes from development to QA and finally to production, and being able to roll back those changes if needed, provide the clear picture in an oftentimes cloudy situation. Being able to compare databases at a schema, data, and even configuration level ensures that different environments are being kept in sync. Does generating test data take up more cycles than you'd like? DB PowerStudio for Sybase is a data masking utility that will automate this task for you. Enough talk. Let's see DB PowerStudio in action. For database administration tasks, DB PowerStudio for Sybase includes DB Artisan, Embarcadero's award-winning database administration tool. With DB Artisan, the Sybase ASE DBA has a perfect complement to Sybase Central. Here, we're looking at the Data Source Explorer. Notice that I'm connected to both my Sybase ASE 12.5.3 data source as well as my Sybase ASE 15 data source. Let's take a quick look at navigation and object creation and modification. Let's drill down into our Sybase ASE 12.5.3 data source, into our GIM database, and let's look at our tables. In the right-hand pane, we'll see a list of those tables. In order to create a new one, we'll simply right-click the Tables node and press Create. Here we're presented with the first page of the Table Creation Wizard. DB Artisan takes care of the version-specific features for you. For example, any new data types that were made available in Sybase 15.5 that weren't available in 12.5, DB Artisan will show you those. This allows you to stay focused on the big things and not have to worry about getting into the very fine details of version-specific features. A few presses of this next button and we'd have the DDL generated to create this table. Just as important as creation is editing. Here we're looking at the object editor of a table. Simply make the necessary changes. In this case, let's change last name from 40 to 50 and press Alter. DB Artisan then displays the script needed to make the necessary change. When you need to see the sessions for your database, use DB Artisan's Database Monitor. Here, we'll connect to our Sybase 15 data source, Utilities, Database Monitor. Here, we're viewing all the sessions active for my Sybase ASE 15 data source. If at any time I need to stop a session, I simply highlight and then press the Kill button. It's as easy as that. As I mentioned before, these types of activities are the foundation for database administration. DB PowerStudio takes it to another level with advanced performance, space, and capacity analytics. For real-time performance, we'll use Performance Analyst. On the home page, we'll see the quadrants that display information regarding the key ratio analysis, the I/O analysis, storage analysis, workload analysis, and bottleneck analysis. If any metrics within a database violate a set threshold, an alarm will trigger. Here we see an alarm indicated by the red font. If you'd like to see all the alarms, we simply go up to the Alarms button and select that. Performance Analyst displays information on a variety of database areas. We have tabs across top for retrieving information regarding memory, I/O, space, databases, users, and even operating system statistics. We also have the ability to display the top SQL currently affecting the database. Though Space Analyst and Performance Analyst provide real-time metrics, Capacity Analyst provides the ability to trend database growth. We can trend both object growth and data growth. Using Capacity Analyst, a baseline is taken and jobs are scheduled to run at periodic times to capture metrics. You can then report on the trending data to make decisions regarding possible storage and hardware acquisitions if the growth trends indicate. With its graphical user interface and advanced analyst, DB Artisan handles all of your administration needs. For database development, DB PowerStudio for Sybase ASE includes RapidSQL. Though similar to DB Artisan in many ways, RapidSQL brings some development-focused features to the table. First, we recognize that developers are oftentimes working in a collaborative environment. For this, RapidSQL includes a project facility. Using the project facility, database developers are able to associate their projects directly with source code control systems. Once associated, you have the ability to check out and check back in files from within RapidSQL. The seamless integration is a real time saver. RapidSQL also includes a very rich iSQL editor. Here, we're actively writing SQL. Notice that the object drop-downs provide me a selection list. I no longer have to know the exact name and hope I don't misspell the name. Here we'll select the city. Also included in the editor is real-time syntax checking. Notice the icon on the left. Hover over, it alerts me that there's an unexpected token, a misspelled word. Correct that, and my SQL statement can now be executed. RapidSQL also provides the user with the ability to execute only a selected batch of code. Simply highlight the selection you'd like to run and press the execute button, or simply right-click and press execute. Also included in DB PowerStudio for Sybase is a rich SQL debugger. Let's navigate to the stored procedure in question, right-click on the procedure, and press debug. We're first presented with our dialog to input any variables. Here we're able to step through our code, looking at the variables as they change definitions, looking at the watch window. At this point we can select the variable we would like to watch and drag it in. At this point we can change the value of the variable at any time during the process. So here I'll step through, continue to run. At any time I can scroll down, select the breakpoint if I'd like for the code to stop. The debugger allows you the ability to ensure that your logic of your stored procedure is correct. When you combine the rich iSQL editor with the graphical object editors and wizard-driven object creation and the SQL debugger, you have the one tool for your database developers. A top-performing database is something every DBA strives for. To help you pinpoint any potential bottlenecks, DB PowerStudio for Sybase includes DB Optimizer. First, let's look at the real-time profiling DB Optimizer includes. Here, we're looking at a snapshot of activity on my database. I captured this earlier today. One exciting feature of DB Optimizer is that, though I can view the profile data that's being captured, I'm also able to store the session for later viewing by me. Or, if I need another set of eyes to look at the session, I can send this to another DBA. Or, send it to a developer so he or she can see the impact of their code on the database. It's simply a self-contained file. Within the session, we can drill into the spikes and see all the activity. Here we're seeing some SQL that's being used. DB Optimizer can also be scheduled to capture sessions. Using the UI, we create the session and then schedule the job to run using the command line interface. Finding the problem is one step. Fixing it is yet another. Oftentimes the performance issue is a result of a SQL statement. Using DB Optimizer's tuning session facility, DBAs and developers can create a tuning session based on an ad hoc SQL, database objects, or a SQL file. In this case, we're looking at just ad hoc SQL. After running the detailed analysis, DB Optimizer has found a Sybase ASE hint that can be applied that will reduce the execution time. There's the hint DB Optimizer has returned. We can also use the visual SQL tuning diagram, something you'll only find in DB Optimizer, to navigate a SQL statement. Expand the objects being displayed, see where they're referenced within the query. In this case, we're looking at a view. Double-click, and we can expand the view to see the exact queries being used to generate the view. Oftentimes, the issue may not be the query, but it may be the query that makes up the view. In the query, this visual SQL tuning diagram can break it down and allow us to understand if there's anything that might cause an issue with our query. Another key feature in DB Optimizer is its ability to submit load on a database. Here, we're looking at the SQL load session. I'll use this query, specify the number of parallel sessions, set the end conditions, we'll execute all sessions 4 times, and have a fixed delay between execution times. Using this, DB Optimizer provides me yet another level of confidence that my query and my database will perform under pressure. With its profiling, SQL tuning, and load testing, DB Optimizer provides the tools you need to ensure your database is performing at its best. The third area that DB PowerStudio for Sybase focuses on is database change management. For that, we use Embarcadera's DB Change Manager. DB Change Manager provides a full set of capabilities for both DBAs and developers. For the DBA, it includes the ability to compare database objects, the data within the database, as well as database configuration settings. With the command line interface, the DB Change Manager jobs can be created using the user interface and then scheduled to be executed at a later time. The results of the execution can be emailed, providing a detailed listing of the job. Here, we're looking at a schema compare job between my Sybase ASE 12.5 database and my Sybase ASE 15 database. We step through the job creation steps, selecting the options that meet our needs. For this job, we're restricting it to a single schema. When we look at the comparison results, we see a comparison index of 56%. Looking at the results, we can see all of the objects that were on the source, those that need an extended alter, and those that just need to be created. I can select the object at any time and look at the DDL specific to that object. If I'd like to generate the synchronization script for the entire job, simply highlight and select the Generate Sync script. We can also use DB Change Manager to specify and enforce database configuration standards and set up alerts so we know when a database has fallen outside of the standard. Here, we're comparing our Sybase configuration standard against 2 of our Sybase databases. For the developer, DB Change Manager provides the ability to push your changes to the next level, as well as report on the changes made in your development environment. Here, DB Change Manager is used to push my development database to a new machine. As we can see all the instances where we do not have matches, we can look at our synchronization script, and here is the script needed to stand up this new development database. DB PowerStudio for Sybase ASE, your one tool for all your database administration and database development needs.